Okay, this next one, draft policy on the eligibility of works. So there was about 5 or 6 draft policies released all this time, and deadline for comments passed. 5 of them were financial, and 1 dealt with technological eligibility. I didn't really have any issues with the financial ones. They seemed to be consistent with everything in the ITs and ICs before. But I read the one on technological eligibility, and I had some real concerns. And not just me. I mean, if you look, there's submissions to the CRA. I've posted my submissions. But they're focusing on a lot of stuff that really isn't relevant in my opinion. What I'll do is I'll see how our time goes, and I've reproduced the actual document. So if we have time, maybe we'll go through it and talk about it really quickly. But some of the concerns are, 1, the big push is, what is a hypothesis? So all the way there, you got to show a hypothesis, of course a hypothesis. That's a good idea. I think that most people don't understand what a hypothesis is, and that maybe we should define that. Another big thing that we find in there is they talk about the scientific method. You got to use the scientific method. I said, okay, well, that's the first time I've heard them talking about something that's worldwide accepted. So I went to Wikipedia, and I went to Webster's. I said, what's the definition of the scientific method? You know what? It's your project objective, hypothesis, design, test, modify, cycle, conclusion at the end. Not conclusion, project name, whatever, the way the CRA is saying. It tells your advancement first, and then tell us all the research that you did to do it. Okay? I'm saying that's a really good idea. Most people intuitively, since grade 6 up, if they've been in an industrialized country, heard of this scientific method, project, hypothesis, project objective, hypothesis, design, test, modify, and conclude. So, why don't, my idea is, why don't, if you're going to say the client has to follow the scientific method, why don't we define what that is? They say you have to follow the scientific method. Period. It's not in the glossary. What is a scientific method? Anyways, I'm saying I like it. And if we follow the scientific method, I think that would be intuitive to everyone because you won't put the conclusion up front. That would be intuitive to the CRA then. I wish they would take their own advice on that. So again, scientific method in my view is a good thing, but you should define what it is. Because I'm telling you, I went to Oxford and I have a definition that's the traditional one, but then I went to Wikipedia and there's 4 other definitions. There's the modern definition, there's the technical, there's a software definition. I don't know. So when CRA says I have to follow the scientific method, what definition of scientific method are they referring to would be my next question. It's just a draft document, but I think it's a positive indicator. They should just think it through all the way. Let's go with this. But if you say we have to follow it, you should define it. If you say you must follow this, I need a definition of what I'm supposed to follow. Or I get to pick my definition. I'm saying there's numerous definitions of it. Without the definition, the law would say I get to pick up my own definition. And if it meets my needs, well, that's the one the courts are going to use because it's ambiguous otherwise. Again, we want to take the ambiguity out, streamline it, make it simple. Here's what we're looking for. We want the scientific method, including these issues. Done. That's very clear. There's a lot of semantics. You want to say we did a systematic investigation versus trial and error, and you're good on the same thing. Right? Those are probably the main issues. If we have time, like I say, I'll actually blow through my policy paper and talk about some of the key things in there. I think we're almost near the end, so I think we'll have time for that.